Welcome back, everybody. Living with a partner. It is interesting, that's for sure. Love Marco so much, but I feel like I'm just like trying to stay focused. And to his point, he did tell me to close the door, and I thought he could like still exist in the other room and not be really loud, but I was proved wrong. Welcome back, everyone. This is Precisely Nowhere. Today's episode is all about tapping into our creativity. And I'm going to share 5 things that you can do to help you tap into your creativity. And there's so many ways to be creative. I mean, for me personally, in my 9 to 5, there's creative problem solving as a project manager. And then personally, with my podcast and interior decorating, home decor, crafting, it's a very personal relationship, in my opinion. Creativity is. And there's so many ways to be creative. So, because of that, I think we shouldn't compare our creativity to others. It's an easy thing to fall into, in my experience. But, at the end of the day, tapping into your creativity should be for you and to help fill your cup up and hopefully also help you grow. Because when we're doing creative things, sometimes we're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones. And by doing that, we're growing, a form of self expression, which I think is a beautiful thing. So, the first thing that you can do to help you tap into your creativity is to embrace new perspectives. You are being open minded, and to help you embrace new perspectives, I would also think back to the last time you felt inspired, or maybe the last time you conquered a new skill that you had to push yourself out of your comfort zone to conquer, or watched a new show that you resonated with, read a book that moved you. I personally feel like I've read books that have like made me cry because they've been so moving. I'm not a huge book reader, but I do have, experiences like that. Reading books made me cry or made me laugh, or a song that made you feel seen. I love music. I love the way that a story can be told through, a song and through lyrics, and how you can feel seen through that and then listen to it over and over again. I mean, so many artists that I have gotten me music that has gotten me through hard times, like breakups and, Adele, thankful for you. She got me through my first heartbreak in high school, so it sounds silly, but you can still love at many ages. And that was my first love, and Adele's first album got me through it. So thank you. But, embracing new perspectives is a form of communication, and it can bring new things into your life that inspire you creatively and help you express yourself, or even learn new ways to express yourself, new interests that might interest you enough that you try something yourself. So that is thing number one. And I've had lots of self doubt over the years, and having worked so closely with creatives in my job, because I've worked in advertising and, creative agencies. So I've fallen into that like comparison because I'm not like a true natural, maybe traditional creative, not on the creative team. I'm on in project management. So that's just me also acknowledging that what I've learned from those experiences and through my manifesting is that I can only control me. And if I have a creative idea or even a dream to do something creatively, it's on me to pursue it. And who cares what anyone else thinks? Because at the end of the day, if I have an idea that I want to share it. I mean, you don't have to be creative, like traditionally creative. What does that even mean? So just communicate, share your ideas, connect with people, embrace new perspectives. That'll definitely help you tap into your creativity. I can speak from experience. And traveling is my number 2. Traveling is so near and dear to my heart. I love traveling, and I'm a huge advocate for it locally, out of the country. I love traveling to Europe, but I also acknowledge that that's not always possible. So even traveling like locally, even in your own town or your own state, it's a life experience that puts you out of your comfort zone and allows you to be spontaneous. You never know what's going to happen. You can always make a plan. And I usually like to plan some sort of an itinerary, but not every single, minute down what I'm doing, and allowing yourself that flexibility for just like life to happen is a beautiful thing. And I'm a huge advocate for it. If you can manage to leave the country, I would also say do it. There's so many, cultures out there and things that you sometimes only see on TV, and it's like experiencing that for yourself is just awesome. I love to travel. I spent a year abroad when I was in college. I did one semester in Florence, Italy, and I did one in Spain, in Madrid. I lived with a senora when I was in Madrid, and I did all of my classes except for one because they didn't have it in Spanish, but the rest of them were in Spanish. And then in Italy, I took a Renaissance art class where one day of the week we would read and learn about the art, and then the second day we would go see it in person. It was amazing. Just experiences like that. And even after studying abroad, we used to do like a trip every year where I would pick a place to go, and I'd usually start me solo, but then I've invited my mom a couple times, I've invited my dad, we've gone to Italy and Croatia and Portugal, and I'm just in love with traveling, and it's expanded my mind and horizons to just like what like the world itself. And and I've learned new interests from my travels. So, highly recommend it. It definitely can unlock creativity. And number 3 is to keep learning. So, you can do this so many ways, especially nowadays with social media and the internet and everything being digital. You can do this virtually via like Google, internet, YouTube, LinkedIn, lots of, master classes, but also physically in person. For me, specifically, like museums. I love museums, especially ones that are interactive, and there's so many interactive ones nowadays. Just love them because you're getting a glimpse into this specific world. There's so many different types of museums, like contemporary, and modern art, Renaissance art, or actual like exhibitions that are like big structures and interactive museums as well. So, and I always have been inspired from museums, especially living in New York. It was amazing because there's so many museums at your fingertips, and so many great museums abroad too that I've been to when I travel. So, highly recommend just finding ways to learn, because when we learn, we're expanding our brains and our minds to new things. And in doing that, we're creating opportunities for us to tap into our creativity and explore new things that might be of interest to us. And it's in those moments where the magic happens and you follow your instincts, and the rest is history. I'd also say that human connection and interaction is a beautiful experience as well. So stay open minded. Number 4 is spend time in nature. I acknowledge that nature is not for everyone, but personally, I found that in nature, you slow down and are challenged in new ways, which allows for creativity to happen and be inspired. And there's so many ways that you can spend time in nature, from hiking, even if it's like a 1 hour hike, camping, going to the beach, going to even like a farm, and also going to like huge national parks like Yosemite or Moab, Red Rocks in Utah. So there's so many ways that you can spend time in nature, even, taking a drive and seeing nature, just like trying to really be present and be one with it. And it sounds woo woo, but whatever. And really embracing like how big the world is, for me personally, has helped me tap into my creativity. Usually when I'm in nature, the way that I tap into my creativity is, I do slow down. I feel like I get really reflective, and I also tap into my love of photography. And I have so many amazing pictures and videos from, all of my trips when I'm in nature, because I am just so mesmerized by nature itself. And it's beautiful to capture that moment and have this thing to look back on. It's amazing to see how mountains are formed, or even the sky. I love taking pictures of clouds. it's just wild to see like all of these colors and how they come together. It looks fake sometimes, in my opinion, from when I've seen nature, just these large structures. And that's a beautiful thing in itself. It just like sky's the limit, you know? It's just, there's so much out there in the world. I feel like in those moments, that's when creativity is inspired. Number 5 is take risks and let go of fear. For me, this one hits close to home because I do think about, as a child, we're also naturally curious, and being in an aunt right now really makes me like reflect more, seeing my niece and nephew just be so curious about life. You're so curious, and then as you get older, society tries to tame our curiosities. And this doesn't happen to everyone, but I feel like it happens to a lot of us. So I wanted to spend some time talking about it so that it can be top of mind for everyone, that it's okay to take risks and just let go of the fear, like stop overthinking it. And if you're not curious, ask yourself, is there something that's holding you back? Like, why aren't you curious? There's so much out there in life. I mean, are you done learning? Are you done, taking risks? And if you are, why? Don't you want to like keep growing? And it's okay if you don't, but at least knowing the answer to why, I think, is important for you and all of us to be like really in tune with ourselves. Because, when we're in tune with ourselves, we are making steps to be our best selves and love ourselves. So, and social media has perpetuated, I feel like, a comparison culture, which is a slippery slope. I would say take the risk, let go of the fear. There are lots of people out there spreading their positive vibes, taking risks, and I know sometimes unfortunately they get trolled, but they're also like living their best lives and staying true to themselves and being authentic. And I think that the world would be a better place if we all let go of the fear and really embraced being our authentic self and taking time to tap into our creativity. As we're doing that is also just part of our human nature, staying curious and staying inspired and really embracing that like positive, optimistic energy. So, that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that these 5 ways to help you tap into your creativity resonate with you and help you if you are looking to tap into your creativity more, or finding yourself a little drained. Maybe it's the end of the year and you need some inspiration, ways to just get yourself like, out of your normal day to day and change it up a little bit. I love you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Music and editing done by Marco. You can find him at midnight, MIDNITE_mind80 on Instagram for more of his work.